Are you tired of being tired all the time? Something that we used to think was so easy, we didn't even think about, once we hit our mid-40s, suddenly becomes a struggle. I kept hoping I'd finally be tired enough to sleep through the night. If you're ready to wake up rested and ready for your day, then I'm sharing exactly what I did to finally fix my sleep, all before I started hormone replacement therapy. So what actually worked? It actually wasn't one thing. It was a mix of small changes. Now, some of these you've probably heard, but the last one was so obvious that I didn't even think about it. Now, don't shoot the messenger on this first one. I know while we're struggling with sleep, that afternoon slump really hits hard. So we medicate with the drug of our choice. Yes, I'm talking about that afternoon caffeine. So my first change was to have a caffeine curfew. Caffeine naturally raises cortisol. It's great in the morning because it helps wake you up and get you ready for the day. But it has a long half-life, which means it stays in your system longer than you think. Even if you can fall asleep with having that caffeine later in the day, it's wrecking your deep sleep. So if you can have a caffeine cutoff, I like to do somewhere between noon to 1. That's the sweet spot for me. Some people metabolize caffeine a lot easier, and maybe you can stretch it a little later, but try to have a cutoff and notice how it affects your sleep. Tell me in the comments your favorite caffeine of choice. For me, it's a good old iced coffee. Now, the next change I made was probably one of the simplest. I had tried years ago to use melatonin to try to get better night's sleep. I woke up feeling groggy and not really rested, so I gave up on that. But what made a huge difference is when I started supplementing with magnesium glycinate. So much so that I do not skip that one. Of any supplements, I make sure I take my magnesium. I notice a difference because I track my sleep with Fitbit. I'm less restless and I sleep better when I've supplemented with magnesium. Magnesium helps to lower that cortisol, that stress hormone. It relaxes your muscles and gives you a better chance of getting a good night's sleep. I put the exact magnesium I use in the caption. The next change is easy to remember because it feels so good. And as an empty nester, I get to do this earlier in the evening and I love it. But it really does help you get in that sleep mode. And that's having that self-care routine at the end of the evening. Changing into cozy pajamas, washing your face, maybe putting on that moisturizer, putting on special lotion, or even having a bath. Some kind of end of the day self-care that tells your brain it's time to start winding down. It feels luxurious and really gets you in that rhythm of winding down to get ready for sleep. As you're struggling with the daylight savings time change and implementing these sleep habits, I've created a spring habit guide that gives you 7 habits to give you a little more energy to get you through the day. Details are in the caption. This next habit, I didn't even start for sleep, but it ended up being a benefit of it. I actually started it to lose some weight, and that is closing the kitchen after dinner. What I mean by that is after dinner's over, the kitchen's closed. No more snacks, no drinking any beverages that have calories in them. I've stopped consuming. When you have time to digest your meal before you go to sleep, that sets your body up to rest and repair. And if you happen to be waking up at 2 a.m. on a regular basis, then you might want to look at what carbs you're having in the evening. Sometimes those higher carbs will shoot your blood sugar up, and by 2 a.m. your liver starts to work and your blood sugar drops, and the way it raises it back up is to use that cortisol. So you're waking up. So if you have that 2 a.m. wake up call, think back to how you ate the night before. I try to end my eating window about 3 hours before bedtime, and it has really helped me sleep better. I know this next one might not be popular. There's so many different shows out there. Everybody's talking about this one or that one on all these different streaming services. But I have found I get better sleep when I limit my TV to about an hour or so. After I've changed into my pajamas, I'm getting cozy for the night, and my husband doesn't like this, but I don't like the high action, high intense shows right before bed. This is a time where I lean into sitcoms. I wish we had more of them nowadays, or some kind of like Hallmark feel-good kind of movie. That gets me in that restful stage and prepares me for sleep. Now, occasionally we might change that up, but for the most part, I'm watching maybe about an hour of TV that's setting me up to be in a calm state to go to bed. I get it. Netflix makes it super easy to binge watch. The next episode just pops up, and before you know it, you've stayed up too late. So this next change I made was I set a go to bed alarm. My phone has the time I need to get up off the couch and start heading into my bedroom to prepare for sleep. This made such a difference. Then I started getting a consistent bedtime. Instead of snoozing and trying to get your extra sleep in the morning, get it at night. I've noticed on my Fitbit that I get more of my deep sleep in the beginning of the night. So the sooner I can go to bed before midnight and get in that good quality sleep, the better I'm going to feel in the morning. So set a go to bed alarm. Maybe you're used to staying up late. Back it up 15 minutes at a time till it seems more natural. Go to bed alarm also serves another purpose, and that comes to my next change. I started putting my phone to bed before I went to bed. I plug it in the kitchen because I know myself. If I have it right beside my bed, all the things I want to look up, or oh, I just need to check social media, and before I know it, I've scrolled for 30 minutes and I'm not feeling restful, I'm not at peace, my mind's going, and it really doesn't set me up for a good night's sleep. So I put my phone to bed first. Now, if you're worried about getting a late night call, make sure you have your volume on, make sure all the settings are so that you could still hear it from your bedroom. But getting that phone out of your bedroom can really make a difference. If you use it for an alarm, maybe it's time to go back to an old-fashioned alarm. I've turned the TV off and put my phone to bed, so I'm done with blue lights. We have yellow lights right beside our bed, and I'm reading right before bed instead of scrolling. And just an easy read, something that's lulling me into that sleep routine. I can some nights read a chapter, or some nights I might read a couple pages. But that is just part of my routine that tells my body we're winding down, get ready for sleep. As I've been tweaking my nighttime routine, I had to make sure that my bedroom was like a sleep sanctuary. We do not have a TV in here. We don't have stuff for work. All this room is where we sleep. And maybe something else. We make sure the curtains are drawn, it's dark. We've tried to cover up all the little junk light that comes from electronics. I even wear a sleep mask to make sure it's fully dark. Now, I know some people use white noise machines. I have never been able to sleep with one. It just disrupts me. But I will sleep with the fan on. Hello, menopause. Having the room cold, dark, and quiet is giving you the best chance of having a good night's sleep. Now, this next one was so obvious, I didn't even think about it. How many of us are lugging around water bottles? We know the importance of getting our water in, so we're drinking it all day. And if we get behind, we try to make up for it in the evening. And I realized I was drinking too much water at night, and that was causing me to wake up in the middle of the night needing to go to the restroom. So make sure you're getting your water in earlier in the day, and maybe have a cutoff time for your water too. So simple, but can save you a wake-up time in the middle of the night. Fixing my sleep made a huge difference. More energy, fewer cravings, and less stress. When you sleep better, you have more energy for fun. See if you can add some of these habits and see what makes a difference for you. If you're still looking for more ways to feel your best in midlife, then you'll want to watch this video, 21 Habits to Thrive in Midlife. Simple changes, but make a big difference.